talk about this morning a couple of concepts I think that we can look at it in a different way. Words that or ideas that we think about as having a particular um, meaning or connotation. And let me make sure. Sometimes I get a message on my WhatsApp saying I can't get in or something like that. So I want to be mindful if someone's trying to get in. So some of the concepts are the idea of what we think about as responsibility. Um, and responsibility, we think of, when you take responsibility, it's about accepting blame we accept the blame instead of assigning it to others. Typically, that's what we might think of responsibility. But I want to think about, like, in this sense of, in a different way, the sense of responsibility as it's just simply being conscious, being aware of the present situation in such a way um, that you take responsibility naturally. It's a natural process, and that it just, you invariably just start doing the things that you need to do to address that issue, instead of saying, good, bad, he did this, I did that, and I'm going to accept responsibility. But the idea of responsibility is just understanding at any given moment what I need to do, what I need to be doing. And that is something that is more, we can call it from the gut, that's intuited, that, yeah, this is, I got to handle this. I got to take care of this, instead of, well, it's my responsibility, and I'm going to. So one is not, mutually exclusive, but we have to, in this meditation, I want to kind of work on that pathway of understanding, also responsibility for, in the sense that when we're breathing in a meditation, we'll go back to the breath all the time in meditation, because you can unfold so many layers, peel back so many layers of who you are through the breath. And one element and one dynamic of that is breathing. When we breathe, we simply think about the air coming into our nostrils and into our breathway, our airway, and into our lungs. But that's just where the air is inside of us. The air, for me right now, where did it come from? The trees respirated. The trees exhale what I'm going to inhale. And there's a symbiotic relationship there. There's a responsibility that's inherent in that relationship when we breathe. Even the air that we breathe, the things that we take in, the things that we consume, not only air, but everything that we consume, there's that responsibility, because it didn't come from nowhere. These things, and we give back, and this give and take, this ebb and flow of everything. And I think that's where responsibility we can look at in a different way, in a magical way. Of when we understand that, then we know we can be thankful. We can automatically feel gratitude, because for the trees and for the life around us, because we realize being conscious, being aware, expanding our consciousness, brings us to that sense of awe, vira, of like, wow. And there's an inherent responsibility, like, whoa, I wouldn't want to hurt that. I wouldn't want to hurt that tree. I wouldn't want to hurt that, I wouldn't want to do anything to hurt my environment. Not because I'm taking responsibility, because it's the political thing to do or the correct thing, or people told me, because I realize my life depends on it. My wellness depends on it. My kids' wellness depends on it. And so I think that's what I want to really unfold in this, for the intention of this meditation, and bringing it. Of course, going back to the breath is really such a core way to be able to do that, and using some imagery and all that, the imagery that we typically do, and music, which I think is really a nice way to to create an atmosphere. And I need to monitor my music from here to make sure I have the right level, but I'm going to put on a nice track here. Let's get comfortable, and if you're joining us for the first time, I think I recognize most of the names here. In any case, it's always good to every time that you sit down to meditate, to tell yourself as if it's the first time you've ever meditated. It's called the beginner's mind. When you have a beginner's mind with something, it's a way of diffusing the ego element from it, or the, oh, I've got this, oh, I know what I'm doing. But when you begin with the beginner's mind, it allows us to find nuances, the infinite amount of nuances that lie in everything that we do. And that includes sitting, the initial sitting down or lying down for your meditation. Be aware of the little nuances that you never even noticed before. The chair, how the chair feels, where the cushion connects with your body. Those are part of the beginner's mind, is pretending that this is the first time you ever did this. And that opens up a feeling of curiosity. When you've never done something before, you are curious, and there's a pathway in your mind of, I wonder. And you are in wonderment and amazement at a new process as it unfolds. Just taking a few moments to become mindful of the breathing patterns. In and out. Of the silence. As we enter into silence without music, the music is great to harmonize and to bring ourselves into a frequency and harmonize. Silence has its own harmony. Silence has its own element, which is the same as the pause between the in and out breath and the out and in breath. Watching the cycle of the breath at the in and the out. Bring particular attention to the pause at the end of the breath of the exhalation before you inhale the next breath. And at the top of the breath and before you exhale, just note the pause. Notice that there's the relationship of the in and out breath, that there's the responsibility that one begets the other. The in breath can't be an in breath unless you have the out breath. The in breath awaits the out breath, and the out breath awaits the in breath. But then there's the pause that joins them together. Continue in silence, just watching this relationship in amazement. It's responsible, there's this relationship of responsibility, this flow. And as the mind drifts, which it will, just bringing it back. And at the moment that you bring it back, this is being mindful. Expanding your awareness right now to the image, or imagine that you're by the beach. Bring us back to the place of the ocean. Standing there barefoot by the shoreline as the waves come in and out. Waves come in and out, just as the breath. Merge your awareness of the in and out of your breath with the waves. Hearing the sound that the waves make. Hearing the sound that your breath makes. Noticing the sound that your breath makes. And how similar it is to that of the waves in the ocean. Merging those two. We can deepen our awareness by visualizing, seeing the water as the environment. It sustains all the wildlife, all the fish and coral, and every organism within it. That live in harmony through a balance. And understanding the natural responsibility of all the wildlife and all the organisms in the ocean have a natural responsibility for one another. They naturally stay in balance. And it's the same process within us. All of our organs, blood that courses through our veins, bring your awareness internal, inside. Shift your awareness to your circulatory system, to your blood that courses through your veins, and to your digestive tract, to your respiratory system, how it all works seamlessly without having to think about it. Even our consciousness, it's there. It's not something that we think about. Consciousness is just what it is. Be aware of your consciousness. Be aware of the thoughts that come in and out of your mind. They are thoughts. We can watch our thoughts. Explore any emotions you may have, but instead of good or bad emotions, just explore them and give them a name. It could be a silly name. You can give them a color. Now notice, bring your attention to jaw or the belly or any place you might be storing tension. So bring awareness to any part of your body that feels tight. For a lot of people, it's especially in the jaw. Not trying to relax, but just be aware of it. And when we are aware of the tightness in our muscles, we can just be aware and conscious of it. It naturally starts to ease the tension. Where do our emotions reside? They can reside anywhere in our body. Very often they reside in parts of our body, the same parts of our body. For everybody, it could be different. But being aware of where they reside in you is a very, very important thing to start to be aware of. Just develop awareness around that. Take a few moments in silence, just becoming aware of the tension it's stored in your body. Observing it. When you found that place, using your in-breath, breathing in, take a conscious breath, a deep conscious breath in. And on the out breath, bring about a deep awareness of that tension and allow it to release through your exhalation. Allow it to release. And again on the inhale, and release on the exhale. And on the next inhale, imagine a white light that you're inhaling, and it surrounds the parts of tension and diffuses it. And on the exhale breath, just let it out. Let it go. Entering through the canyon walls. We've been to this place before, but as day breaks in the canyon, we see the sun rising now, illuminating all the shadows, illuminating our pathway. We're feeling so refreshed as the warm sun comes up and heats up the canyon. The flowers open to a new day, and our hearts open just as do the flowers, accepting the light, the radiance of the warmth of that orb in the sky we call the sun. We will begin our day with wonderment, excitement, and allow ourselves to just be thankful for all the small things, which are the big things, like our breath, that keep us alive, and to the relationships that are responsible for each other. Relationships, the symbiotic relationships in our lives. And as we come to the end of our meditation, just being aware, making sure that you're aware of all your surroundings in your room, or wherever you are. Back to the feeling, a connection with a pillow, moving your fingers, rolling your shoulders, stretching. Being grateful for another day, as I certainly am.